All right, here's a solution to a popular one students always ask about, which is how to click on units and then make them go where you tell them to go. I'm going to do it a little bit like StarCraft style here. You can click on a unit with the left mouse button, and then you're going to right click somewhere. And when you right click, that unit is going to now walk towards there, and then you can go off with the mouse and do other stuff. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to take care of is selecting a single unit with a left click. So I got my bones guy here. Let's go for this. So I'm going to go to bones. I'm going to go to the create method, and I'm going to give them a variable. And the variable, I'm going to call it selected. And I'll put selected to 0. Obviously 0, not 1 is going to be selected. Okay, and that'll be that for the selection process. Now another thing our bones guy could do is he could be moving. So I'm going to do a little moving variable here. I'm going to say moving is 0. So 0 is not moving, 1 moving. So it's just sort of a state he's in. Because remember, once I tell him where to go, he's going to be walking to some destination. Now the nice thing about the destination is the destination will be an X and a Y position somewhere in the room. So these are variables I also have to give. So I'm going to put destination X. I'll just put it to 0 for now. And destination Y, 0 for now. It doesn't matter that the destination X comma Y is 0 because I'm not moving, right? But when I do decide to move, I'm going to set these variables to wherever the person right-clicked the mouse. Now let's handle a little bit about the circle drawing around the player when they're selected. This is going to be the draw event of bones. I'm just going to say if I'm selected, draw the sprite and a circle. So let's take care of that one right now. Add event, draw. And you know that as soon as you go into this draw event, that's now what's been drawing, which is nothing. So I have to draw the sprite out. And my sprite is sprite bones, -1, and draw it wherever it is, X comma Y. And now I have to decide whether to draw the circle or not. So I'm going to say if selected as 1, I'm going to draw set color. Let's change to, I'll just put white, and I'm going to draw a circle. And you'll see here it wants X, Y, radius, and true or false whether this is an outline or not. So let's draw it at X, Y, right, wherever the bones is. And the radius, let's do something big, like 30. And is it an outline? True. Okay, I don't want a filled circle, just sort of the circle around me. And that's it. Okay. Now what I should have here is you're not going to see anything yet because I've never actually selected myself. So let's go for this now. Let's make sure I can actually select a unit. Now there's obviously lots of ways you can handle this interface of selecting units. So you're just going to have to be happy with the way I show here and hopefully you sort of pick up the concepts. So if you want to change it to a slightly different way that you're happier with, you're able to do that. What I'm going to do is just say that when I click on a bones, turn them selected if they're not selected. And I also have to make sure that if there was another bones that was selected, that I make them unselected, right? Now it depends how you want to do that. You could select many at once. You can change that up later. So here we go. I'll add event, mouse, left pressed on top of me. So bones detects he's been pressed. And let's go for our little code here. If I'm currently selected with the left click, I'm going to deselect. Okay? So I'm not selected anymore. That's just how I'll do this interface. Otherwise, if my selected was 0, then I want to turn my selected to 1. Now, if you do it this way, you'll be able to click on one bones and he'll turn selected. And if you clicked on another bones, he's going to turn selected. And you can click on another one, he's going to turn selected. This will allow for multiple left click selections at once. If I want to make this one, like the challenge said, just one selected at a time, what I have to do here, before I turn this skeleton on selected, I'm going to say with all the bones on the screen, set their selected variable to 0. So every single bones will be deselected, and then this bones will turn its selected variable to 1, and he'll be selected. So at this stage, we can actually go and test our selection on the little guys there. Even though they're not walking anywhere yet, this will handle the left click, the selection, and then that selection is going to draw the circle out for us. Hopefully. So let's see what happens here. Selected, turns it off, turns all of them off, selects him. Turns all of them off, selects him. I click him again, turns him off. So it actually works okay. I know it's not exactly StarCraft, but you know, it's good for beginner. Now let's handle the walking. Walking should actually only take a couple lines here, and it's going to be good. So what we do for the walking part is the walking part we said would be a right press to select the destination. So what I'm going to do on my destination here is I want some object, okay, let's say the bones here, detects a right click, so mouse, and remember, it's not a right click on it. This is going to be a right click anywhere in the room because we're selecting some destination probably far away. So this is a global mouse, right press. So global mouse right pressed. Now I have to do a little bit. Now the first thing I have to ask is, I have to make sure that this bones was one of the selected skeletons. So I'm just going to ask, I'm going to say if my selected was 0, so if I'm not selected, I'm just going to get out of here. Okay, there's no point doing the rest of the code. Okay, so it's one way we could do it. If I do pass that point, I know I must be selected, right? So if I'm selected, what do I do now? Well, let's just quickly peek back to the create method here. I had a moving variable and destination X and destination Y. What I have to do is I have to set myself to moving. So moving is 1. So now I'm going to be moving. And I have to set the destination X. And you can probably guess here, I set it equal to the mouse location right when this has been clicked. And destination Y is going to be set equal to the Y position of the mouse. This skeleton now is keeping track individually of its own X and Y destination and the fact that it's going to be moving. Now, moving 1, we haven't used it. Where are we going to put this? We're going to take advantage of the fact we know we're moving in the step event. So in the step event, I'm going to constantly be asking if I should be moving or not. And I'm just going to ask. I'm going to say if moving is 1, I know I'm moving towards a destination. Now, how am I going to move towards that destination? I'm going to use some scripts that we've talked about in previous lessons. We're going to talk about point direction, and we're going to use point distance. So we'll just sort of give it to you here, but I want to find out which way to go. So I'll sort of say something like set my direction equal to point direction from my XY towards destination X, destination Y. That's going to return an angle back to me, and that's my new direction. So I'm just going to head in a straight line towards it. I'll set my speed, something reasonable there, speed of 4, and off he goes. Now, if I just do this, okay, I should be moving, and I'll start going to a point. Let's check out the effects, what this does here. So I click on a guy, and then I'll put my destination right here. Whoops, right click. Starts to move. And then he has his spaz out. Now what's happening here is he's passing that point, and now he's past that point by a couple pixels. So he changes his direction, right, to go towards the point. So now he goes down a few pixels. And no, he's past the point again. So he goes up 4 pixels. Then he changes directions again. He's going up and down. Every single step he's changing directions, running this code here, because I'm constantly moving. The odds of you landing exactly on your destination X and destination Y are very slim. So what we're going to do here is we're going to ask ourselves, are we close to our destination? And if we're close, I'm just going to say I'm not moving anymore. So to take care of this last part, it's basically, I could do it inside of here. Well, it's actually the good spot is to do it in here, is I get moving. But then I ask a question. I'm going to say, if the distance between me and my destination coordinates, now I'm going to say, is less than or equal to 4. It's good to take whatever speed you're moving at. That's a good distance to say, yeah, close enough. Okay, because it's pretty well guaranteed if you're moving at 4, you will get 4 pixels or less within your destination. Okay, so don't take a value like 1. That might be too small. You may never get within 1 if you're hopping back and forth over the point. So 4 is a safe one. But if this is true, it's time to stop moving. Set the moving variable to 0. Set my speed to 0. And that's really it. And that should stop us moving when we reach our destination. Cross your fingers. Let's watch this little guy go and stop moving when he hits his point. All right, click, go. And he stopped, right? Click, go, click, go, click, go. Notice they all have their own destination XY variables. They all have their own moving, so you can get them all going at once, right? Not too bad. Now, if you incorporate things like don't let them go on top of rocks, you can use your place meeting command. Say, no, that's not a good right-click place. Don't set the destination and don't get them moving. You can do all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, common questions are, I want to highlight everybody and get them to move. You can do that. There'll eventually be a little video on that one. We'll show you in the how-tos. And, of course, the other one of, I don't want my units to plow over other units. It's actually a tricky one, but we'll have a how-to video on that one day too. So hopefully you got that challenge by following the basic walkthrough. If not, hopefully this video helped you out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.